you from?
Started as an East Coast vibe, now I'm going worldwide. We got this bitch going crazy. I used to take the Mazda for a drive, now I'm on the 405 like it's fuck you, pay me. We really sick of standing outside, had to push them all aside. It's what you get for trying to play me. I bet they make a movie when I die just to talk about my life. They need an actor to portray me. I got this motherfucker clear like an eye drop. I got elevator flow, I'm on a high top. I got little something stacked like an IHOP. This is 05, you will put it on your iPod. I'ma give you something that you can't forget. Put the price up, baby, add the tax a bit. No, you saw the comma, thought it was an accident. Well, it wasn't. It's about time, the kids buzzing. I'm trying to get a peek in the elevator. But if we talking peaks, I need mine like the Himalayas. I'm talking yay high, man, I never had a vertical limit. I ain't seen you put in work in a minute. I gotta put on for the family, that goes for every person that's in it. Used to scrape by, working as a service attendant, till I got more. Bitch, I ain't comfy, I need the top floor. Doing anything to get that spot for. Started as an East Coast vibe, now I'm going worldwide. We got this bitch going crazy. I used to take the Mazda for a drive, now I'm on the 405 like it's fuck you, pay. We really sick of standing outside, had to push them all aside. It's what you get for trying to play me. I bet they make a movie when I die just to talk about my life. They need an actor to portray me. I ain't settling for nothing that be under an M. There's only one of me, there's 100 of them. Gotta listen close, I drop hundreds of gems. From the start, no, I wasn't pretend. With the world on my back, had to drop my own ego. Problems at the crib, we couldn't fix at Home Depot. That was on tilt, moms off the vino. Room full of smoke like we lived in a casino. She know, day I moved out is when I opened my eyes. Looking for the truth like God show me a sign. I'm not religious or the holiest kind, but the blessings came to me when I opened my mind. I was running around the city, man, I knew I had to make some. Wasn't raised a thief, but if I had to, I would take some. Worked the Frito-Lay, I was writing on my breaks, son. Plotting on a record, waiting for the day we break one.
No, I was just, no, I'm really busy, just wrapping up some stuff in the studio. Yeah, everything's good. I mean, it's just been a lot of, like, settling in and whatnot. Yeah. I'm not really sure when I'm coming back. I don't have any plans of it right now, but, I'm just figuring a lot of shit out right now. I don't know. There's just, like, a lot going on.
I need all the wins, yeah. Ain't no L's, I gotta get a no call and quits, yeah. Gotta keep on moving no matter how hard it gets, yeah. Better move out the way cause I'm coming with harder hits. My head is as hard as a brick, but I'm harder than all of this. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. You better move, you might get knocked out, knocked out. My heart on my sleeve.
Oh, the Yankee game was canceled, folks, but we are here, and minus a beautiful mustache.
R.I.P. mustache.
R.I.P. mustache. The game was so bad yesterday, the wife really convinced me. She goes, look, since you got that damn thing, I'm trying to be nice to you here. Aaron Judge blew his toe up, whatever the hell he's done. The Yankees can't win a game. You're driving yourself nuts watching these games. It's time to remove the stash. So if things turn around from here, folks, I might never bring the stash back ever again, which is a sad day in my life.
All right, now to reverse our luck, you got to do the Lincoln, where you got no mustache, but you just got the beard. I'll do it with you. Let's do it.
That would look so horrible.
It would. NYY
the mustache
Amish.
I could actually play a little bit.
NYY Amish recaps.
That's it. That'll be awesome. That'll be absolutely awesome. But yeah, man, I had no luck with that. Yesterday might have been. And by the way, chat, thank you guys for being here. I know the game is canceled today. There is a doubleheader tomorrow. I plan on actually calling both of those games here on NYY News TV. But yesterday, Derek, I don't know what to say anymore about yesterday's game. You know, Aaron Judge is out, okay, but that's not an excuse for the type of play that we saw yesterday from the Yankees.
I themed my post-game reaction around embarrassment, because right now you have to be embarrassed as a member of the Yankees organization, just the product you're putting out there. You telling me you can't get decent regular outfielders together? I mean, we're what, 75 games in or something like that, maybe 60 something. And when was the last time the Yankees had 3 legitimate outfielders in the field at once? Have they done it this season? I don't think they have.
And, that's the thing that a lot of people bring up, including myself, is when we talk about things like the payroll, where it's at, why it upsets us so much, and why I get angry. Like I did yesterday, I had to do a rant video after the call in the whole game. I said, you know what? I have to, because this is just so sad. The whole debate anymore about people getting mad that a guy like Florial isn't up, there's no longer a debate here. Yeah. The Yankees don't have a guy that can field the ball. I said it yesterday. I said, look, I don't care if the guy come up and hit 220. At least he can catch a baseball. And he's an outfielder. Calhoun
runs like he's got cement in his shoes. I mean, this guy is the most immobile 28-year-old I've seen since Heath Ledger.
I said yesterday, right? And I'm just, when I go on a rant, whatever comes out, comes out. I was like, this guy is 5'3". He can't catch a ball. He's 212 pounds. He dove for a ball, rolled 18 times.
Oh, my God.
It's unbelievable. I just can't believe these are our New York Yankees with this payroll that they have, and this is the product they're throwing on the field. And I'm not even beating up Domingo Germán here. He was just bad yesterday.
Hey, you're going to have a dud sometimes as a pitcher. You got to have the offense pick you up. I mean, you can't let it be 10-1 by the time you mount any kind of rally, or 13-1 or whatever. Going to Matt Crook there, I felt like waving the white flag a little early in Fenway. In Fenway, where we've seen 7-8 run innings before, we saw the Yankees come back from 9-0 one time. Look, I felt like that was a white flag a little bit early, and then when that grand slam went out, I said, well, this is no longer a game that I watch. And this is a game where I clean up the, studio and vacuum and dust and do all that shit.
Thing in a planet to talk about. But I want to ask you one question, Derek, because you've obviously, you do recaps. I do NyynewsTV, but we've had jobs, and, you have jobs, and we still do things today. But when it comes to the New York Yankees, I got to ask you this, because as a supervisor on a job or a manager on a job, you're typically held responsible to what your employees do under you. If they're acting up, they're not doing their work, they're coming in late all the time. Eventually, you're going to have to answer to why that's always happening.
Right.
With the sloppy play of the New York Yankees, who do you pin that on mainly? If you look at this and you go with the errors on the field, all the constant sloppiness of play, when you're watching a team, say you're not even a Yankee fan, you're just watching it, where does your head go when you see something like that happen constantly?
Well, I think it's more nuanced than just blaming one specific person. I think the organization itself has too many voices, and there's probably too many conflicting voices. I feel like it should be a legitimate pyramid, but it feels more like there's a three-headed monster at the top where you got, Cashman and Fishman and Hal Steinbrenner when needed, when you need that big phone call. But ultimately, I'm looking at the lineup yesterday. I'm not seeing a lot of guys. I'm seeing 3 guys in the lineup that were non-roster invitees. I mean, how much can you really expect out of these guys? To me, I think what we've gotten from Bowers and what we've gotten from Calhoun has been terrific. Yeah. But I don't think we should even expect more. You know what I mean? Because they've already outperformed what they're gonna do. And to me, that falls to Cashman. Really had an opportunity to fix this team up a little bit in the winter. Didn't really address the main issues. We're still running Donaldson out there, who leads the league in meaningless solo home runs. I mean, come on.
I'm a huge believer in the play on the field. To me, in my opinion, it goes to your leadership and your coaching staff. And a lot of people immediately assume, oh, Pete, you just mean Aaron Boone. No, I mean the coaching staff as a whole. When you have the lackadaisical play that this team has, and I'm talking about since 2018, this has kind of been a constant. I remember that year I said, hey, they're the sloppy Yankees. And every time it happens now, I always bring up, the sloppy Yankees are back again. I've just never seen a team that in just occasions out of nowhere, they look like they're in outer space. And it's like, we don't remember how to play baseball. Anthony Rizzo all of a sudden thinks he's a second baseman.
Yeah.
I mean, he's running all the way up the line and every ground ball hit the Glaber. Nobody knows what's going on. They can't catch a ball from a cutoff man.
Right. Rizzo can't run the bases either. He thinks he's fast. He's not fast.
He's legit fast. My father messes me all the time. This guy's a lot ass. What is he doing? What is he doing? He thinks he's fast.
I do think. I mean, he's skinnier this year. He's lost some weight, but some people are just slow. You know, I was skinny but slow. Some people have bigger feet than their body is meant to have, and I was one of those people. And you know, I look at just the perfect example yesterday was the Gleyber Torres play where they ruled it a hit, but it was a ground ball to his right. God. He didn't set his feet and get the easy out.
Yep.
He tried to make like the Robinson Cano, like throw across his body, made a shitty throw. If he stopped and made a good throw, like the situation called for, there's no reason to make that fancy play. You throw the guy out by 25 feet if you set your feet and just throw a strike. But he's more concerned with fashion than function. Yeah. Clint Frazier was the same way. Aaron Hicks was the same way. I just want guys that are focused. Like, that's why I don't mind that Volpe's hitting 190. The guy's a ball player. He's busting his ass every time. Give me 9 Anthony Volpes. You might lose, but you're not going to see that lazy shit.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing that balls me more than anything. And look, I know sometimes I say these things also, too, during games. You feel like, Pete, you know managers won't do that. Now, I get that. I get managers aren't going to do it. But I tell you what, man, give me 5 minutes when it happens, and I'd be on the field. Time to get your ass in here. I don't care. I said it yesterday. I put Trevino at second base. I'm not kidding. At that point in that game where they are, I don't care. You come off the field. You need to be humiliated in front of people and say, we're not going to stand for this no more.
You know what this?
And it's not. He's not the only one. Gleyber's not the only one yesterday. Yeah. It was a train wreck around the entire field.
This team needs a Billy Martin type. Like
100%.
Like
100%.
And not only because it would be fun for us to watch, but like I feel like these guys are paid at such astronomical levels that it's human nature to not push yourself. You're comfortable, right? You need that little, like, having a manager that's kind of laissez-faire. I think that bleeds into the club where they're just kind of like, oh, cool, I'm 0 for 4. What's for dinner? Made 2 errors. What are we doing tomorrow?
100%.
Like, I want somebody out there who says, look, for 3 hours, your attention is here. We don't care about your bank account. We don't care what car you're driving. Don't care what sponsorships or billboard or photo shoot you got. For 3 hours, your attention is on this team. And if it's not, get the hell out.
That's the way it goes. I mean, that's all I've been asking for a long time is exactly that. And, you know, it's not a knock on Aaron Boone. I've said it. Aaron Boone will probably be a good manager in a lot of other places. I really feel deeply that if the Yankees had a guy that's a little more, you know, hey, guys, we're about our business when we're on this field. And look, people could say what they want. I bring it up all the time. I think it's also a lack of respect for the manager in that sense because they know what's going to happen to me. You know, I'm going to play tomorrow. What is going to happen to me if I make a bad play or go 0 for 4 today? I'll be right back in the lineup tomorrow. I just feel like they really need somebody there that goes, hey, man, no, this is not happening. I think Gleyber Torres, I know he gets picked on a lot on this, but he's got away with this for years now of just making lackadaisical plays. I always bring up last year. Aaron Boone went from game 1 to literally the last game of the season saying, he felt bad about it. You know, we talked about it. Yeah. You shouldn't have to do that all these times.
Yeah, sometimes talk doesn't cut it, you know? That's right. Sometimes action is what you need, you know? How about less talk? How about sit there and learn? How about sit there and think? Okay? Yep. How about sit there with all these cameras on you, focused on you came out of the game because you're lazy? That might teach you a lesson. You might have to, you know, there's consequences to everything in life, you know, and I truly believe that people will learn from their mistakes if given the opportunity, but sometimes you just need a swift kick in the ass.
Damn right. And that's what the Yankees need. And as of right now, where they currently stand, the New York Yankees, folks, are, as you see right here, 10.5 games out of first place. Yes, you heard me right when I said that. The New York Yankees are currently 10.5 games out of first place. That run differential continues to drop, continues to go down, especially in a game like yesterday. You know that's going to bite you on the ass, and that's exactly what it did. Toronto's catching up to the Yankees. If I switch over really quickly to the wild card spot, I think it's an 8-8 game currently right now with the Angels and the Yankees. Or I don't know if that updated. That has not updated yet. But the Angels are right there with the Yankees. I mean, they're right in line. The Yankees are closing in on not even being a playoff team as of right now.
Yeah.
And it is about, a week and a half, 2 weeks away from July. Derek, I got a question to ask you. Is there any scenario where the Yankees sit there and go, maybe we got to sell? or maybe we sell off assets.
You know, I made a video a couple of weeks ago that says, should the Yankees be sellers? I saw this coming. I said, you have a bad couple of weeks without Aaron Judge. You get to be 12, 15 games back. You're not making the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know? And
there's good teams too in that wall.
Oh, yeah.
It's not like it's not like the Yankees and
True.
there's nobody underneath them.
Right.
There's some pretty good clubs there.
Right. And they're going to be trying their ass off to win. They're going to be going out and getting players. And we're probably going to be sitting on our hands again because we traded everybody for Frankie Montas. And I wanted to point out, just one other thing about, the standings. I get a comment occasionally that says, well, the Yankees are 39-31. If they were in most other divisions, that's pretty good.
They're not.
They're not in most other divisions. That's irrelevant. You got to compete with the teams in your division who are really good. And the Yankees just flat out didn't build the roster to do that.
That's right.
Or they thought they did, but they just assumed everybody would be healthy for some reason. I think, we blame Boone and we blame his coaching staff. They're definitely to blame, but I still think Cashman's the guy who puts those guys in place.
No doubt about it. And
who tolerates this shit. And Hal, to a certain degree, tolerates Cashman's underperformance. He's won for his last 23.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of blame to go around. And look, we are spoiled as Yankees fans. We get to make the playoffs a lot. We're competitive a lot. But I don't think it's too much to ask when you got the highest ticket prices and you got the, largest payroll, right? And you got the worst parking. Like, can we please get a team that can win it one of these years?
Yeah, no doubt. And, you bring up a very valid point, right? Aaron Boone was hired by Brian Cashman. But then the guy above Brian Cashman is okay with Brian Cashman.
Right.
Failing every year and saying, hey, after the Donaldson trade and the Montas trade, this trade and that trade, and this not working, that not working, and spending money, I'm okay with you for another 4 seasons. So it's kind of hard to really pinpoint who is the worst of the bunch. It really is, because it's like, well, one is okay with the other one, and then it goes to the top guy, which I guess you really could pinpoint. But the problem with pinpointing him is he ain't going nowhere. You know that for a fact.
I would love it if Hal said, I've been doing this for a long time. My kids don't care about the Yankees, whatever. I'm going to sell it to a hedge fund for $6 billion and write everybody in the Steinbrenner family tree a nice big check and go fly planes for the next 20 years while we wait for the, AI apocalypse. I think that Steinbrenner is obviously not his dad. He is willing to spend. I think he's made that clear, but
I agree.
He doesn't have the same look. His dad
moxie
grew up in a different time, had to deal with different types of people. This guy, he's been in boardrooms his whole life. He's been around suit and tie guys his whole life. We need somebody with some street smart, somebody with that killer instinct. What has Hal Steinbrenner ever had to compete for in his life? What has Brian Cashman had to compete? We gotta have some fire. Somebody who wants to be there, wants to win, who looks at this as a challenge rather than just like their yearly duties.
No doubt. David Elias, thank you so much for becoming a Real Talk package. And guys, we're probably going to wrap up this one in about a 30-minute episode here. So throw any questions you want in there. I'll try to answer them as we go. But we saw a pretty good player yesterday, Derek, that me and you both wanted. Yeah. Masataka Yoshida is friggin' awesome.
He's
just an awesome player, man. He's the guy that would have fit right in with those 98 Yankees. He could be an annoying ass at bat. I think he had what was it the last series? Like a 17, 15, 16 pitch at bat against Wandy.
Yes.
It was like an insane at bat. And then yesterday goes 4 for 4, doubles.
Ball player.
Just missed a home run off the wall. And man, that would have been so welcomed in left field. And I would love to know, because the Yankees typically have a strong scouting department on the Asian market. What do they miss here with this guy? I mean, I'm just like watching him every day, and I know there was other clubs interested. It seems like the Red Sox kind of blew everybody out the water for him. But man, oh man, that would have fit so well in this lineup right now that we might not even be complaining about some of the things that we have to complain about right now.
Well, there's two things that come to my attention from his StatCast page. So the average exit velocity is about league average, and that might turn the Yankees off because they love exit velocity. That's their thing. That's what gets Brian Cashman hot and bothered under the collar is exit velocity. Also, his his defense on StatCast doesn't look good. He's in the 13th percentile of outs above average and in the 13th percentile of outfielder jump. He's got a slightly above average arm. I wonder if playing left field in Boston and that just being a tricky place to play is one of the reasons why his defensive metrics are not great. Because, you know, when he came to Yankee Stadium, he made a couple of nice plays out there. He looks like he moves around well.
Yeah, I think he made like a running catch, a really good running catch at Yankee Stadium down the line.
He's not extremely fast, but I mean, he's faster than Willie Calhoun. I mean, guy's hitting 309, 7 home runs. He's got, how many doubles does he have this year? He's got to have he got 17 doubles. He struck out only 28 times and walked 25 times.
Unbelievable.
I mean, the Yankees could have had this guy for a very reasonable, basically what they're paying DJ LeMahieu.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And it again, I mean, you could do this stuff all day where you can, talk about the misses and all that. But like we said before, Hal brought the guy back that did all these misses. And he's here again. And what are we talking about again? The same stuff we've talked about every single year with the same exact issues year after year after year when it comes to the Yankees. And speaking of StatCast, you go ahead and pull this up. I'm trying to make it a little bit bigger. But you pull up the Yankees top at plate appearances at bats. Well, I'll do plate appearances. You see Gleyber Torres, 252, 330 on base percentage. Anthony Rizzo, 342 on base percentage, 265. Then everything just really continues to dump off without Aaron Judge. I mean, DJ LeMahieu with 296 on base percentage. Oswaldo Cabrera, we thought might do something, 243 on base percentage. Willie Calhoun got a 306, which is actually one of the highest on the club, which is unbelievable. Trevino, we've got nothing out of. Giancarlo Stanton, where's he at? I mean, a 280, 221 average, a 477 slugging. Yeah, Harrison Bader was doing well while he was here. Now he's hopefully going to be back sometime this week. But it's just more of this. These are ugly numbers. And when you just put it all together, it is just a bad offense. It's a bad offense.
There's two that really stand out as being disappointing to me. I really thought Oswaldo was going to be a better player this year. And I still contend he could be a good player. It's just something mechanical with his swing that right now he's just getting beat. And then Giancarlo Stanton getting hurt again. We heard about at the end of last season when he came back, he wasn't 100%, and it's all about, he's learning how to play it not 100%. 5 games into the season, he tweaks his hamstring, he misses a month, and now he's not the same player again. It's just, sure, he'll hit you the occasional long home run, but he's just not a good baseball player. He can't play defense. He can't run the bases. He's got a good throwing arm, but he doesn't get to use it because if you put him in the outfield, he dies. Yeah. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Facts. So a couple of things that I want to bring. Got a couple of fan questions here that I want to get to. Guys, we're 13 likes away from 100. We got about 240 in here right now. Aaron Judge. I saw a couple of questions on there right now. They simply ask what I think me and you already know. Are the Yankees not telling us what they really know about Aaron Judge and how long he's going to be out?
Do they ever tell us how long players are going to be out correctly? Harrison Bader was supposed to be back last night. Going to be out all weekend. Here's this is a conspiracy theory I've maybe mentioned on my channel. I might have mentioned it here as well. If he's going to miss a big chunk of July, right? There's no incentive for the Yankees to go out there and say that because it's going to prevent people from buying tickets in July.
Exactly.
If you want to bring your family to their first game, you got 2 kids. Let's say and there's a lot of people that fit this mold that go to Yankee games. You're living upstate. You live in Albany. You live in Syracuse. You live in Massachusetts, Connecticut. You live, a decent drive from the stadium. You want to bring your kids. You want to bring the whole family, maybe, grandma, grandpa. You're going to spend $1,000. You don't want to go if you don't want to go if Aaron Judge isn't going to be in there. Let's say, we'll wait till August when he's back. If they said he's out for July. Right now, people are buying tickets because he might be back. He'll be back by the 4th of July, whatever. It can't be that bad. I think it's real bad. I think he's going to be out a few months.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. Look, the Yankees know, folks. If you think that the Yankees do not know or have an idea that Judge is going to be out for a longer period of time than expected, him being the star player of this club, trust me when I tell you, they know.
He makes $40 million. $40 million. You tell me you don't know every hangnail that this guy gets?
Exactly. You don't think they really understand how long this is going to be? Derek summed it up perfectly. they got to sell tickets in July. If they come back, go probably early August, mid-August. Why are you going to buy tickets for July game? What's the point? It's nice outside. Let's go spend $1,000 again on an Aaron Judge-less New York
Let's go
Yankees.
watch Willie Calhoun play right field for $1,000. No, I'm good. I'll use the yes app.
Yeah. We're going to see him do some rolls in the outfield, see what happens.
Right.
So you brought up something pretty funny to me, and I want to pull this up. This is, 2013's top 10 prospects. This is pretty bad. And folks, mind you, before we say this is pretty bad. And
this is dark.
This is dark. This is definitely dark. I should turn the lights off for this one.
Man.
We talk about this. Now, let me switch over to the screen. Derek, do you want to take this over? Because you said it perfectly.
Sure. So when you look at the top 10 players from 10 years ago, there's, 7 of them, it's interesting to follow their career. 3 of them are dead.
That is insane,
Oscar
man.
Taveras is dead. Jose Fernandez, number 7 overall, is dead. And Tyler Skaggs is dead. So in retrospect, Garrett Cole's doing pretty good at number 9.
100%.
Jurickson Profar, not doing too bad.
No.
Comparatively. But isn't that unbelievable?
Well, the craziest thing was when you read it off to me, I was like, all right, 23rd, like why? I'm thinking in my head, just 10 years ago, maybe. All right, let me see where he's going. Then he's like, dead. I'm like, okay, dead. And I'm like, I told you, I was like, 3 of the 10 players are dead. I'm like, just getting to the major leagues, and I guess it's good enough because it makes me kind of happy. I'm alive right now. That's the case of what we're looking at there. So you never know with a prospect, so to say.
So I looked it up the other day. I wanted to look up my first baseball game that I ever went to, and I believe it was 1991. Bernie Williams had 5 hits. It was his first ever 5-hit game, but the winning pitcher for the Cleveland Indians died the next year in spring training. So
wow,
I was at a game in Atlanta where a dude ran up to the edge of the upper deck to boo A-Rod and went right over and fell and died.
So you're like the bringer of death over here.
I'm not out of stories yet. I used to be a beat writer for the Durham Bulls in Durham, North Carolina,
right,
for one season for a magazine called Ray's Digest. And my first day, I'm waiting in line, standing in line to go get my press pass. Dude standing next to me drops dead. I wherever I go, I bring destruction. I don't know, but
guys, Derek will not be at the event on September 23rd.
You guys will be fine.
Chew your food.
Just look both ways when you cross the street. Don't get too close to the edge of the subway platform.
Yes, that's it. And make sure they got great food there. Chew everything you eat.
Yeah,
we need nobody choking because Derek's there. Okay, so
honestly, I'm probably the most likely to choke to death. I take the biggest. My wife always makes fun of me. I take the biggest bites out of food, and I'll just work on it. I remember when I was a little kid, I almost choked to death on a piece of Batman cereal, which for some reason was this gigantic, jagged Batwing shaped thing that kids are supposed to swallow. And I remember running up the stairs like, and my mom had to Heimlich me.
I remember a funny story from me. I don't know why. I have this big ass Italian nose. And as a kid, I had the big ass Italian nose. And I just felt like anything should go up there. So I stuck like kernels up my nose, one day, a bunch of them as a kid. And my mom had to take me to the hospital, and they were like, yeah, there's one up there somewhere. So it's probably still up here. And I probably got a whole popcorn stuck in my head somewhere.
I don't even
know about.
I had a button up the nose once.
There it is. I don't know. What is it with kids? You got to just fucking stick things up your nose. Aaron Boone, he's looking for stuff that was up his nose through our games. He's always picking his nose. And
he picks his nose a lot. Like he picks his nose quite a bit. I feel like an inordinate amount of for an adult person.
Could it be nerves? Is it maybe like a nerve thing with him? Like he starts getting nervous. He picks his nose. He bites his nails a shit ton.
That doesn't, you can, now that you say it, you contrast that to our winningest manager in our lifetime anyway, Joe Torre. Just sit there the whole game, just looking.
Chilling.
Aaron Boone's like
drinking his Bigelow tea.
No wonder he can't win
nose,
shit.
Blowing bubbles, spitting things.
Did we just solve it?
Did
we just do a psychological profile on Aaron?
Yeah. 100%. That's exactly what it is. We got a super chat from David Elias. Personal opinion. Keep the roster as it is. Fire the staff. Get rid of the clowns and bring back old pinstripes with rings at MLB at bats. PA. I don't know if it's a philosophy thing with the Yankees anymore. I don't know. Look, at the end of the day, I think, Derek, you might have said this too. They got rid of Marcus Thames. Marcus Thames was a major league hitter.
Yeah.
At this point, I don't think it's just a hitting coach. I think it's a philosophy overall. I think it's an organizational thing that they're saying, hit strikes hard, which I'm sorry. I just don't feel like hit strikes hard is like some, oh my God, really?
That's not very scientific. That's like
That's what I'm
baseball 101.
I'm like, yeah, that's typically the point.
Guys,
when there's a strike, that's the pitch you swing at.
I got the new strategy for the New York Yankees. Are you ready? Score more than your opponents. Pay me $10 million.
I was about to say you should be hired right now. Like that should be enough to get you actually hired and go from there.
Jeez.
But before we get ready to wrap this one up, guys, thank you again to everybody that's in here, about 260 right now. Hit that like button. But I guess just give our thoughts on what's coming up for the Yankees. They got a doubleheader tomorrow. I want to say it'll be Clark Schmidt in game 1, Luis Severino in game 2.
Correct.
I believe is what they're doing.
Seattle next.
If Aaron Judge is out until end of July, early August, what's the Yankees' chances?
This season ended when he ran through the wall. I think that's just my opinion. I mean,
Wow.
I think he's going to miss 2 months. I know for a fact that as a marketing person, as a PR person, I would not tell the Yankee fans if he was out for July.
No doubt.
That would be my strategy. If they said, well, shit, Judge is going to be out. How do we break this to our fans? I would say we don't.
We don't.
You know, sorry, Timmy, the dog ran away. We haven't seen him,
Yeah.
that type of thing.
Well, it's
While you're
got to be.
scraping it off the road.
Yeah, you're 100% right. It's got to be. It's a business too at the end of the day. So I understand that part. Wow, man, that's a big statement. But it's sad too that one of the moments I think that I might have had my most excitement while calling a game, screaming, "Wow, what a catch! Unbelievable!" Yeah. Then you kind of sit back and a couple of days pass and you're like, "That's the worst thing that could have happened. That ball should have just been off the wall."
Yeah, I would have rather lost that game than lose Judge for the summer.
Everybody would have. You're 100% right. You'd rather lose that game instead of being done for the summer. And who the hell knows what happens going forward? The Yankees schedule isn't it's a little bit easier than it was early on, but I'm with you, man. I don't see how this team overcomes being without Aaron Judge.
Yeah.
Now, if he was back in a week, I'd say, okay, they're still 9 over. Yeah. Just manage, get him back, and go from there. But isn't it also wrong in a sense that all we're like depending? Well, when Judge gets back, it's like the Yankees have even got us in this mode. Well, guys, hold on. When everybody gets back, everything will be fine.
And if you don't think that bleeds into the locker room, those other guys clearly feel the same way.
Yeah.
Giancarlo Stanton, for some reason, never feels pressure in the playoffs. But when Judge is out, the man turns into a shadow.
Yeah. I feel like everybody does. Look at Rizzo. Look at Rizzo's overall play, how bad he's been. I mean, there's not a veteran on this team that you can look at right now and go, well, at least he's stepping up.
I think I have a theory that Rizzo's hurt. I mean, ever since he got hit by Tatis, he's never been the same.
I kind of feel like he has to be.
Yeah.
At this point, just the way he's playing overall. We got one super chat here, and then, guys, we're going to wrap this episode up. Rod Thompson says, there's entirely too much tinkering going on from the position players to the pitchers. Put the iPad down, pinch hit, and run. Common sense baseball is something that it feels like it is missing quite a bit here with the New York Yankees. But guys, it does feel a bit gloomy. It's like gloomy days are ahead right now for the Yankees without Aaron Judge. We have no idea when he's going to be back. And all we can hope for is that we didn't even get into, Peraza and Florial and these other guys. I don't see the Yankees making any moves. I don't see them releasing Donaldson anytime soon at all. So it's more of the same.
To me, this feels like 2016, where you got the baby bombers coming up. At best, you sell off a couple of pieces. Maybe they trade Rizzo at the deadline if he starts hitting, and you sign Murakami to play first base. He's having a tough year, striking out a lot. But maybe you call up Dominguez. Maybe you just say, hey, look, isn't our year? Let's let the kids play. Let them learn on the job. Show up and cheer on our kids. Don't boo them. Yeah. I mean, to me, I would, admit it. That's fine.
Well, I think fans would be okay with that, actually, if they go with the young guys. The last thing that I'll add in there is, if there's ever going to be a time, and I ask for this every year, that Brian Cashman become creative, now's that time. There's a lot of players out there that come to mind of potential trades that could happen. I don't know if they would, but, you got your guys like Lars Nootbaar, who could be a good left-hand hitting outfielder for the Cardinals. We mentioned, Alexis Diaz. You've mentioned a few guys from the Marlins. I don't know if the Royals are willing to trade anybody in the roster, but Vinny Pasquantino's a very good young first baseman.
He's done. Did you hear about him?
Is he out for the year?
Tore his labrum.
Oh man, that's
having surgery out for the year.
Well, guys, cut that part out. There's no Vinny Pasquantino coming to the Yankees. I tried to replace an Italian with an Italian, and it didn't work this time. And no Joey Votto. We don't want Votto, okay? But guys, for another episode of Designated Spitters, we appreciate you guys. Derek, any final words at all for everybody?
Just hang in there. I'll see you tomorrow on the recaps.
Yep. And guys, by the way, too, I am covering both games tomorrow. So do me a favor. Come in and just say hello. Try to get me through it. If it's 2 bad games in a row, it might be more than the mustache going away if it's 2 bad games in a row. But with that being said, guys, we are out. I will see you all tomorrow. Talk to you guys later.
As the competition, but if you go against me, you the opposition. But if you want to look like you could close the distance, I'ma give it A forever since you're so persistent. With you, I'm just practicing, cause I'm back to back. Let's get back to winning. As a matter of fact, I'm not that forgiving.